We want to get some perspective from Danielle Moodie, a political columnist and media strategist. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's dive into it here. I'll start with President Trump's executive order. Creates a federal database of cops with a history of excessive force, calls for chokeholds to be banned unless an officer's life is at risk. Do you think that's going to satisfy the folks who have been out there marching for weeks, people who are out there marching right now?
No, because if you listen to the president's conversation today, or his speech, or his campaign rally, it sounded more like a police rally rather than any real directives that he was going to be providing to the American people. And again, this is an executive order. Right now, we have Congress, the House is working on serious legislation that would talk about ending qualified immunity, that would talk about ending a ban on chokeholds across the country. And so this is real action that can be taken rather than the president's very loose words that don't make a lot of sense and are not concrete.
Well, let's talk about this, Danielle. We are a week out from the New York primary. Today is a mail-in deadline. Will the Black Lives Matter movement and these protests we're seeing translate to votes?
I think that they will. I mean, we have, like you said earlier, we've been in this march, in this protest for 3 weeks now. People have been out in the streets for a longer time than we have ever seen. It is historic. And I think that people want real change. They want real people to be in Congress that are working for them, not folks that have been there for decades upon decades and they really have no work that they can point to say that this is what I have done for you. And I think that people want to change. They are asking for change. They're in the streets for change, and they're going to show up to the polls for change.
Okay, you mentioned Congress, so let's talk about the 16th congressional district race, making a lot of headlines. Middle school principal, progressive challenger versus 16-term establishment incumbent. What's your read on that race?
My read is that Jamal is doing incredibly well. I think that, Ingle, look, he's been in Congress since 1989, and the hot mic incident that he had was not great. When he said, look, you can go ahead and speak to protesters, and he said, if it wasn't for a primary, I don't need to. Does that look like a member of Congress that is in it for the people, for his constituents, listening to their needs? No, it doesn't. And so I think that Bowman is very well positioned in order to take over that seat, and people just need to show up and vote for him.